Morning. Hello, Rachelle. Good morning, good morning. Welcome everyone to our webinar here at Monarch. What are we doing up so early? This morning, we never had a webinar that early. So for those joining us this morning, thank you for getting up bright and early in the West Coast. Once again, I want to welcome everyone to Monarch. We are here in San Francisco. Monarch is a premium appliance location showroom with 12 locations located both in the East and the West Coast. We here in San Francisco are right in the heart of the San Francisco Design District. And Rachelle and I, Chef Rachelle, welcome. Good morning.
Hello. Hi, Florida.
And Dawn, I see you, Dawn and Nick. You guys can hear us fine, yeah? Great. Welcome everyone online, and you guys have a live audience there, so I just want everyone to know that we are both doing live and online. So, Rachelle, we met, about a year ago?
And a little more than that.
Okay.
And it's been amazing.
Yeah, thanks for joining the team. We certainly grabbed you right there, but the reason we met is because I joined the company at Monarch in San Francisco about 2 years ago. And as soon as I joined the company, funny story, we had a reporter that came from Berkeley that came to us with the mic. And the question was, how do you feel about the new codes happening in Berkeley? That was the beginning of it, with the ban on gas.
Codes. Yes.
Correct. And in that case, how do you feel about the induction technology? And we had no answer for her because we didn't know that was happening. So because of that, we did a lot of research because we felt like Monarch needs to be at the forefront of technology and codes and making sure that we have the proper and correct information for our customers. So Rachelle and I connected because she is the appliance whisperer with how many years of experience?
Decades.
You go. Yeah, right. You've had quite a bit of working experience with Monarch as well before Monarch.
I know. It's so wonderful to be back with the family, you guys. I love that West Palm showroom. I've cooked there many times. So yes, I was fortunate to be the corporate chef for this very company when it was a different name, but same amazing people and mostly the same beautiful locations. So I had the honor and the privilege to come over to Florida several times a year and cook in all the showrooms. So I would literally drive around with turkeys in the car safely in coolers for Thanksgiving and driving to all the locations. So it was an incredible adventure, and it's just really an honor to be back to a company that I love. And how fun to be able to do this coast to coast. It's great. So yeah, it's a pleasure. And yes, Alex and I met because I love induction cooking. I've loved it because I'm a corporate chef in the appliance industry. So I came to this from pure culinary power and the love. And then when you bundle it with the changes that are happening with codes and all of that, we are the go-to place to help people decide whatever it is they want to cook on. But we are the leaders in this. So it's an honor, and thank you for pulling me back in. It's, again, the adventure continues.
Yeah, and I want to make a quick, let's hand it over to our Florida team and tell us what you guys do there and who you are. And I realize that, James, you might be muted, so go ahead and unmute yourself on Zoom, and so we can hear you.
We want to hear.
Hi, I'm Dawn with Delica.
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Perfect.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay, great.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi, I've been with Delica for about 4 years, so and I've been in the appliance industry my whole life. So here we are today to show you our fabulous new NIKOLATESLA switch. So, and then we have Nick.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm actually fairly new to the appliance business. Actually, I've been with Distinctive Appliances Distributing for about 2.5 years now.
Great.
Based out of Miami, Florida. What a coincidence to be doing this streaming with San Francisco, my birthplace, actually.
Oh,
it's
cool.
really exciting. Yeah.
And guys, my name is James. I'm the showroom director.
James.
I'm James. I'm the showroom director from West Palm Beach. Extremely excited to be doing this simulcast with San Francisco, Chef Rachelle, and the amazing team here with Distinctive and Elica. So we are very excited and happy to be a part of this. So thank you.
And I see Barry back there. I just want to give him a shout out. Barry, thank you for your support from Distinctive Appliance. This guy knows everything and everybody about appliances.
I gotta meet this guy. I can't believe we've never met. This is strange. And a huge shout out to the live audience. You guys have a live audience. I wish I was there.
Oh, great. That's great.
We're
Yes,
gonna keep
we are.
It fun, and we're going to honor you for being there. And I know you guys get snacks too, so that's awesome.
Yeah, so James, tell us a little bit of what's going on there. You guys have a live audience. So back to the table at Monark. And you guys actually are doing a mimosa lunch. Is that right? Jealous.
That is correct. We're doing a mimosa lunch here. We have some box food. We have some fantastic drinks and some great company, and we're looking forward to show off this amazing cooktop.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So this is going to be the next 45 minutes. So we'll be looking at the clock, making sure that we don't go too much over time. But I know that through all the webinars we've done, there's also a lot of questions coming from the audience because induction is it is not a new thing, but it is such a mystery to a lot of people.
Yes.
So we'll leave the questions at the last segment, the last 10-15 minutes. I'll call out when that's time. But in the meantime, we have a few of us on the keyboard. So if you have any questions you want to ask as we're going through some of the demos that we're doing here between San Francisco and Florida, do type it in, and we'll make sure to answer your questions accordingly. So Rachelle, back a couple years ago when I got those questions out of Berkeley, right? That's where the whole thing started. Is Berkeley is the forefront of a lot of things, and this is one of them, which is this reach code. Explain to us what that is all about, because we've gotten a lot of questions since about the ban on gas in certain cities. So maybe spend a minute on that, please.
Absolutely. So yes, this started in Berkeley, California, but it's not just a crazy wackadoodle California thing. I promise. There is some amazing stuff to this, and I really understand the passions on both sides. I am a chef in real life. I've been in restaurants. I've got the gas cooking arm burns to prove it. So I really understand the sort of, the change. So when Berkeley first did the first reach codes, those are local codes that reach beyond the state codes for better environmental, protections. I knew that this was kind of my moment because, like I said, as a chef in this industry, my entire job for decades was to cook side by side on amazing, gas, very high BTU ranges and range tops. Those are beautiful. We still sell those, don't get me wrong. And right next to it, these innocent looking, in some ways, kind of, in some people's minds, sort of wimpy looking gas induction tops. And time and again, I found, I'm an induction person. That is the way it is from a cooking perspective. So for me, it was from the cooking power, the cooking control. We'll talk about some other but wait, there's more.
And we want to demonstrate that.
We're
so
going
we're
to
go do
Absolutely.
step by step if you guys are up for it.
Yes, and that's why we have these great showrooms. You can try stuff. It has to be right for you. So when these codes started to happen, I started to know that it was a very special time for something that I have a lot of love for. And that's when Alex reached out and I said, well, that's my old family. I want to jump back in there. So it's really exciting. The codes are happening in 40 jurisdictions in California, but also in New York and New Jersey. There's some really great reasons for it. And what I want you guys to know is there's some really great news. This cooking is remarkable. So we want to just show you kind of both. For many years in this industry, we were all gas, all BTUs. Of course, like I said, we sell that. We love that too. But we want to just sort of show you 50-50, another way that you could have gorgeous cooking power. So enough about that. we're going to turn it over to Alex. We're going to talk a little bit about the whys of induction and really what it even is. So back to you, but that's how I got here.
Great,
And it's
that's
a pleasure.
great. Yeah, I think a lot of customers come in, they have a lot of questions about induction. For us especially, there's really no other options, right? So Don, Nick, you guys have been in the industry for a while. I know in Florida, that's not a code there yet, right? I don't know if that's gonna become. But, you know, certainly I know that in the high rise, you know, they do worry about gas applications. I know for the outdoor,
go
you
up.
can't. Yeah, you can install gas in anything that's above the second story. I think in a lot of cases, I don't know if that's all, but certainly I think the questions are coming up with this whole induction movement. So tell me, guys, how much have you guys cooked on induction versus others?
I actually have one in my house.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it's not a Nikola Tesla, but it's a range because I live in a condo and I can't have gas. And I'm a huge
Oh, you
cook, so
cannot
it's a
have
big
gas.
deal to me. Yeah, so yeah, I cannot in my condo. So
Okay,
I actually have an induction range, and I love it. I mean, it's the closest thing to gas I've ever cooked on, and I love the efficiency. I love the cleanup. It's just there's just a lot of things that are so amazing about working with induction.
Yeah, and I've actually cooked a little bit on induction. I'm actually going to be switching out my electric top at home with an induction top soon.
Oh, so you have
Very
electric
light
now.
With the
then.
Nikola Tesla
Yeah.
switch, I
Oh, of
believe.
course we do. So yeah, so what we have done is we have this pair of Nikola Tesla. This is again supported by Elica. Thank you for sponsoring this segment. This, it's very educational. So you see in front of you there, we have the induction by Elica in front of Rachelle, and then you guys probably can pan your camera to also show your exact cooktop on your end. So there you go. There you go.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Yeah, we love the Elica switch because it's so unique. It's a 2-in-1. But before we show all that, I want to make sure we cover a few things, and then we're going to do some demonstration with you guys if you don't mind. I know Rachelle is probably, as we play around with the demos, you're going to show them what to do.
Oh yeah.
Or tell them what they need to do,
We
and
can
we'll
do it together.
they have mimosa lunch. I think we need to whip up some pancakes, or what are you maybe making
I'm going
there?
to do some crepes today.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. So we want to definitely talk about the power of induction, how that is very super efficient and powerful and also accurate. We want to talk about the safety feature, which we already talked a lot about. You guys can't have gas because you're in the condominium. So we also want to demonstrate, how this 2-in-1, a very unique feature, that's the Tesla, how that works. So why don't we start talking about how induction works, right?
Yeah, what is this thing?
Yeah, what is induction?
Of which we
so, this is something Barry taught us the other day. Say, go cook some water and put some marbles in it. And I was like, really? So, so you guys have that set up, right? Let's test that out so we can prove that Barry, with his suggestion, let's see how that works. So,
and I want to make sure too, let's explain it, because as we said, there are banning new gas lines in new construction. So when we have new construction in many cities out here, they're going all electric. And understandably, people consider electric to be the old coil or that terrible flat top, inefficient, awful to control. And so those things get very kind of meshed together. Induction, so there's electric, there's gas, and then on the side of more power and more control is induction. So it's really cooking 2.0.
Chef, do you want to start yours too, so we have yours going as well?
Should we explain?
Just demonstrate
You got
how
it.
quickly with a cup or two, I think you probably put a couple of cups there,
Yes.
Nick, of cold water.
Yep,
And
so cold
turning
water.
on the power now on the cooktop to high, and you can actually do a power boost. Oh, be careful with your iPhone there. That's the timer.
Oh, it's safe. Don't
It's
worry.
safe. We check.
Okay.
I know, right? It's amazing.
I know
So,
that
yeah.
because I did that with a customer and she freaked out, and I'm like, no, actually it's perfectly safe. So we'll demonstrate.
It's
that
hard
too.
to fathom, right? So here we've got a power boost going on. So that old adage about waiting for water to boil, no. Barry, this is a wonderful demonstration.
So there you go. You guys have it going in less than 30 seconds from cold.
Yep, under a minute. So I'll go ahead and just stop that and demonstrate how you have perfect control. So you can go ahead and shut off
and we're done.
The heat, and you no longer have it boiling. And then let's
Right.
get it back up.
So when you have those marbles in there dancing, that's exactly how we want to demonstrate induction works. Let me, show you a quick video here.
Yeah.
So that is the inside. If you look at my screen, I hope you guys see it there with the split screen. So on my screen here, we're showing the induction and how these magnetic hobs powers the cooking or the heating through the glass that is on top of it. So instead of a heating element underneath the glass that heats up the glass, and then the glass heating up your cookware and cooks the food,
Yep.
this thing is a magnetic power, and it creates a magnetic field that vibrates the pan sitting on top of the glass instead of heating through the glass, right? So that magnetic field vibrates the cookware and cooks the food.
Absolutely.
So you have now indirect heat, yet you have direct transfer of power to your cookware instead of through the glass onto the food. So that's super efficient compared to your traditional, let's say, gas. Gas emits CO2. It's got
Formaldehyde, methane.
right.
lot.
So a lot, and then and heat, right? Because you
lot of
have
heat.
flame burning. So a lot of heat. Here, let me.
Yeah.
turn this
So
off
you
real
have
quick.
upwards with a gas burner. It gets very hot. That is about at the most 30 to 40% efficient, meaning all the rest of that heat goes into your home. Air conditioning, ventilation, all kinds of things have to make up for that. With induction, it's moving just the molecules in the pan. The pan becomes the heat, and that is about 70+% efficient. So, Don, to your point, when people say, oh, it's, a closest thing to gas, it's actually much stronger and faster and more powerful than even 30,000 BTUs.
Let's show that. You guys have a kettle there.
Crazy.
Let's cook like a cup of water.
Absolutely.
And then you can also turn on maybe the auto on the the ventilation there, which we'll talk about later.
Yes.
But let's see how quickly that cooks, right? You guys have a cup of water in there? Yeah. Good.
All right.
Because
go.
without it, it actually won't work, right? Because it has to have liquid or certain food content in your pot. Are you doing that too, Rachelle?
Yep,
Great.
same
That's
time.
great.
It's already making a lot of noise. It's already going. When I have to boil water on gas, I'm just like, oh, like I get impatient now. This happens so fast. We are going to talk about the ventilation piece. With the Nikola Tesla switch, our ventilation is right here, and downdraft will never be the same again. This is cooking 2.0 and ventilation 2.0. So we've got.
So that's 30 seconds you got it going. So
There
yeah,
you
let's
go.
flip the lid. There you go. You can see the both the steam and that ventilation, which we'll talk about later on. That's drawing in the steam. That's the 2-in-1 that I mentioned earlier.
Yep. But we're going to talk about cookware. We're going to talk about safety, cleaning. Promise we'll get there. And then to your point, you guys, when you turn it off, it's off. So the power of cooking is in control. So when people say, oh, it's not as controllable as gas, I'm like, what? On what planet is that? Because when you can go that high and that low that fast, and then incrementally in between, it's amazing. But you might burn a few things at first. You're getting into a high-speed, sports car here, guys.
Yeah. So maybe you guys don't have water in it, but that's okay. Explain to me, Dawn and Nick, what do you see there in terms of the level of setting you guys had on there? Is it it's a digital control through the glass?
Yep.
Yes, and there it goes from 1 to 9, and then a power boost setting on all 4 burners.
Yes.
So maybe you can show it on the marble again. How do you do the power boost?
Yes.
We can see your camera better, so you can show the audience
So
that.
so the unit is on currently. So then you're going to push and hold the button, and then you're just gonna slide your finger across all the way up to
Awesome.
P. with
Oh, when it
power
says
boost.
P.
Yeah, it goes to P.
For
and it
power.
should.
Cool. Yeah, look, I can see the water moving there with the marbles. Cool.
Fun.
So you have the settings there, which is, the next thing I want to talk about is control, right? I mean, beyond the power, and you know,
Sure.
I use this example a lot because my wife is Austrian, so we do a lot of Wiener Schnitzel at home. I actually learned how
Wiener Schnitzel, I love it.
or you know, katsudon. Either one, they're very similar. But so I do a lot
So
of.
it's like the same dish, but Austrian versus Asian, right? It's the same idea.
You know, I'm sure they have a different recipe for each, but I just
But
pretend they're.
Same idea. No, you're right.
So it might help, guys, if I actually put this on the right burner
Right.
instead of the wrong burner and turn the wrong
Oh,
burner on.
see,
Just
well,
FYI.
that's the
I was
that's
like,
the
what's
same.
happening over here?
Hey, we're all learning. And you know what?
There we
That's
go.
you make actually a really important point. There are challenges to learning new things. I couldn't agree more. You know, with gas, it's very obvious how it works, right? So even in the lower end to the higher end, of course, there's big differences, but you pretty much know how it works. One of the hard things about induction is kind of just figuring that out, knowing that you have to put something on. Almost all cookware works. We'll talk about that myth, but you do need the right kind of cookware that works. And then you have to also select the right location. So, you know, and some of them have knobs. So when it comes to, there's a lot of choices, but that can be hard for our clients to go, oh, you know, for a minute you kind of feel stupid. And, you know, I tell people it's like you have a phone on the wall and you're used to, you know, dialing it up, and then if somebody were to just hand you an iPhone and go, here you go, this is much better, bye. You know, you're sitting there going, how do I work that?
Well, the great thing about this is as I'm sitting here, Nick and I are looking, I'm like, why is it throwing an error? Like, what's happening? Because there wasn't a pan on it, and it was telling me that something was wrom, and it wasn't computing in my brain that I was on the wrong burner. So,
Yeah, so show that again, because when that
Yes.
was happening, I think the indicator was flashing, right? So
yeah, do you
that's
wanna
the
see
safety.
it? Can you
right.
see it? Can you see it when I turn the wrong one on? I'll show you what happens.
Yeah, if
So I
James
put
would
it all the way up to
focus in
power.
on
She's
that.
trying to power this
You
one.
meant to do that.
I
All
did it
right.
on purpose. So are we back on this so they can see it? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So basically, you see how it's flashing?
Yeah.
That's telling me that I'm on the wrong burner, but I was not computing because it's the first time I've seen that.
Because it has
Right.
pot detection.
'Cause
So
that's
it's not
pot
detecting a pot on that
Yeah,
burner.
so if I'm on the right burner,
Safety.
watch this.
Now,
Now,
that's the right control.
oh, look, the marbles are moving.
Oh my
There you
God.
go.
Almost instantly, within 10 seconds.
It's
I didn't
very
break it.
instantaneous.
Hey, guys, don't lose any of Barry's marbles, okay?
He's already lost his
I
marbles.
heard he already lost his marbles.
We found some though.
No, that's great. So that, you know, let's segue into that. Let's talk about safety, right? That's exactly it. So with gas, if you forget to turn it on, turn them off you know, on your stove, it's on, right? With induction, you know, like especially this one here, we just show that, you know, if you turn something on that you're not supposed to, it will tell you that nothing's on it, and it's not gonna, you know, it's gonna shut off.
Yep, absolutely. And for me, you know, your safety is amazing. I'm also a private chef. I don't have a lot of time for that right now, but my clients have some pretty amazing homes. And when I'm cooking there, I'm so used to now, like this is on right now, so I'm used to going like this and reaching and just getting with my sleeves, and I have to remind myself that I can't do that on gas. So, you know, when you change over and get used to that kind of power, it's really exciting. But also, my handles are very, very cool. So even if this is cranking hot, which happens very fast, my handles stay incredibly cool. So that's very exciting from a safety perspective. And whether you're aging in place, whether you're my age, or whether you're teaching little kids how to cook, how exciting to have something this safe and yet this powerful. So I'm gonna make some crepes and we can keep chatting, but this is a really fun crepe batter. I just put it inside a squeeze bottle.
And as you're cooking that,
Yeah.
Chef, Marley's gonna hand you a $20 bill to put underneath that.
All
too.
right.
You
Give
know,
me a minute.
we do that quite a bit, and then also we,
Thank you.
Don and Nick, yesterday we talked about the hours that actually you know, use induction, and exactly he put a towel underneath,
Yes.
right? And it will tell you the reason for that, but you know, you can figure why he does that. But look, so Chef, you're cooking your crepes there.
Yes. So you
And-
can make regular crepes in this. I kind of like the squeeze bottle because it gives you a fun little shape. So this is called the lace crepe.
What
Crepes?
level power do you have on?
So I have it on 8. Crepes
8, okay.
actually are very liquidy, so they actually take quite a bit of time when you're cooking them regularly. And then, look, I understand visual cooking. I understand people that say, well, I can't see the flame. I get that. But I'm so tired with having to kind of look down when it takes a little bit, but as soon as you realize, like I know for me, if I'm standing here watching this, that my level 8 is perfect for crepes. So you won't see me turn it up and down, because I have almost like a temperature dial on here.
So I see that the crepe is cooking now, it's
Yes.
smoking, and you have the $20 bill underneath.
Yes.
And that is Marley's
It's
$20 bill.
amazing. Oh
It's
no,
saved. It's saved.
Marley. I'm sorry, brother.
And
Yeah.
Don, Nick, tell us what's happening there on your end.
So
Oh, go ahead.
we have a nice control here of temperature. We have the marbles cooking, of course, for demonstration purposes, so you can hear it, see it.
Yes.
What's great is that if this were a sauce or whatever it is, you're not going to get all that splatter that you got to fight and clean up after the fact. So if you're finished cooking, you can go ahead and shut it off, move your sauce, and just wipe it clean.
Look at
And
that.
this is
Hey.
going to be warm to the
Voila.
touch, but not hot.
Right.
I
So
think it's
definitely,
really
you know, again, we can't emphasize enough the safety aspect, right? Even, you know, with the towel that you know on the hot stovetop, it's perfectly safe because you know of the way induction works. It indirectly cooks, you know, through the cookware and not by not heating up the surface. That's why it's perfectly safe. It does get pretty hot after because the heat from the cookware does transfer back to the glass. So after cooking, you know, you can put your hands on top and you will feel the heat, but you know, so you do have to be careful. And there also should be, yeah, so Don, Nick, you guys have an indicator there that should say that it's warm, right? So
Actually, it's not even warm enough, so the indicator was not showing up. If
Okay.
we were cooking a little longer,
Yeah.
it would.
perfect. So safety, we cover that. And I see you sometimes hover around the cooking because it's, unlike gas,
It's so good.
it's perfectly safe.
Absolutely. And like I said, I came to this from just the cooking control, being able to cook the way with more power and safer. But it was food quality that speaks first to me. The other things are, like I said, an extra bonus. So without food quality, without food control, it's a very strange thing. And what's happening now with a lot of my restaurant chef friends, a lot of commercial chefs, there's a lot of us now that we've been using this for a while, just kind of on the side. There's a lot of advocacy going on because we are realizing that we don't have to be in these boiling hot kitchens. We can still cook beautifully, but there's a lot of adjustment, and I really have a lot of respect for that. Oh, look at that. I've been doing this for years, and every time I'm like, come on.
So
does that work?
I think this is the perfect time to show up the ventilation side of things. So
Yes.
Don, Nick, can you guys boil the water again, and then let's get
Let me
that
do it
cooking,
just
and you know,
one
let's
time.
see, show us how the ventilation works. The reason I want to talk about ventilation because that's part of that conversation, right?
Absolutely.
When you know, we're so used to specifying gas appliances, and you know, the question is always, how much power ventilation do I need? For usually a burner for gas is 15,000 BTU. And there's the formula that we use is, 15,000 BTU, we need, 1 CFM per 100 BTU.
Per 100, okay.
So 15,000 will need 150 CFM.
Right, so
right?
total 50, yeah, okay.
So total would be, then you multiply by, 6 burner usually on the 36, right? So you need 600 CFM for a 60,000 BTU gas burner.
Yep.
Right? But remember, when you're cooking on gas, you have hot air, right? You have all this other air that's rising from the flame that you have to duct out, you have to ventilate. As we have just demonstrated here with the induction, there's really, you can hover around it, there's no hot waste emitting.
It's crazy.
So
Yep.
with the efficiency and, because it's so efficient, the ventilation that you really need for an induction is about, I would say, about 30 to 40% less compared to a gas. So for 600 CFM ventilation hood, which is a pretty large thing usually that goes over your cooktop,
Yeah.
All you need is about a 400 CFM capability, which is exactly what this one is, right, Dawn from Elica?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Hold
Yeah,
on
I'm
one
asking you
second.
the questions on the Downdraft CFM. What is a CFM? The cubic feet per minute of air being drawn.
This is 400 CFMs for this particular unit,
Perfect.
which is plenty of CFMs for this style of cooking.
Absolutely.
Correct.
And as you may have noticed, we had two things going at the same time. Full power is difficult to hear. We're also not level on this particular surface, so it's kind of shifting a little bit with the vibrations. But it was sucking in all of that heat very.
Yeah,
very
let's get
well.
that. Let's keep that going and let's show that. I want to see. I want to see you guys have that working there, and also your live audience will see it too, because that was the first thing that really impressed me, right? And then that's why I
Right.
shot so many videos of it and posted it. And I think
put it-
Chef
I'll put it
did
on
that one
3.
time. He's got 200,000 likes online. But yeah, that is very. Yeah, that's a perfect
This
demonstration.
is
Very
on level
impressive.
3
Out of 4,
out of 4.
and it's plenty.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, the marbles.
Turn yours on, Chef Rachelle. Your
Yep.
ventilation.
Yep,
see
my
that.
ventilation's on.
There you go.
Yep. So what's nice, and we don't always use our ventilation. And one of the big conversations out here and kind of everywhere now is indoor air quality. It's huge. I have clients coming in and going, what's all this I hear about indoor air quality, and certainly outdoor air quality with all the fires? So when you have the opportunity to have a healthier, cleaner air, and yet only need to have a smaller amount of ventilation, it's incredible. And this is actually fun to use. We don't always put on our overhead, right? But I find that people feel it's kind of like a game, and you can watch it, and you see the results very dramatically, and that encourages people to use their ventilation, because you still need to use your ventilation, gas or induction, but it's a very different story.
And a fun fact, being 400 CFM,
Yes.
it doesn't require you to have makeup air, because
How fabulous.
exactly, that's an important piece.
And the
Yeah,
other thing that's
we're
really
in
great-
California, so we don't need makeup air.
Oh, well, we do.
Okay.
We do in parts of this.
No, let's explain that. That was a
Roads
joke
vary
because
everywhere.
we have the perfect weather, of course. So
We
so
used to.
why do you need makeup air?
It's about all basically the force pressure in the house. So when you start adding all of these different elements and then you add ventilation that's going to suck more air out of the house, you have to basically have makeup air, so you're not going to upset that balance and start blowing out polylights
Right.
and things like that.
So we
'Cause
we
houses
get a
are
lot
built
of
so
that
much better.
from we get a lot of that from the projects we do in Tahoe because it's cold, right, in the
In Lake
winter.
Tahoe?
Yeah, we have a lot of customers with the second home. That's a ski cabin, and the house is so well insulated. They have the super insulated windows and doors, so it's airtight, right? So when it's airtight, a couple of things. One, if you have something that ducts out, you're sucking air out of this airtight home, and if you have any gas appliances inside, like a water heater, it sucks the pilot out, right? So in that case, it's dangerous. Now you have gas leaking. So for those reasons, for these cold countries, they need air to be brought back to the home. So a lot of times when we put in a high CFM hood, we have to install a air makeup kit, which costs additional, installation and just additional cost to it. So so a lot of these homes, they actually have recirculating options, so they don't, because the home came without ducting. Just because it's very inefficient, to have something ducting out and cold air, coming back when you want to insulate a home. So in that case, we have a lot of homes in Tahoe, and the projects that requires a recirculating option in the either the hood or a downdraft. And a lot of those, when they recirculate, it goes through a filtration, two types of filtration, right? One is to take out the residue and grease from cooking, and secondly is to take out the odor and the smell, right? So two different filtration. With the grease, usually there's a grease filter, and with the odor, it's a carbon filter,
That is
right? And those carbon filters are only effective when you change them out every maybe 3 months to 6 months, depending on your cooking. And they are pretty expensive.
Yes, they can be.
So for those reasons, I want to talk about the two-in-one that's very unique in the Tesla, because it has the pen pending, I believe, on the I think it's a ceramic filter system that they use, right? The second filtration.
That is correct.
So show us that, Nick and Dawn. Probably
Absolutely.
focus on the cooktop and show us where that first layer of filter is and what it does. Explain that to us, and then the second ceramic filters. Explain that to us.
Definitely.
Okay, so right here in the center, you have a little where the ventilation is going through, the smoke is going in. You basically
And that's
open the-
also a switch, right? So when you
Yes.
turn on the unit, if the circle or if that lid is not flipped open, it won't work. So there's like a safety switch as well.
correct, and it'll tell you to open it on the actual surface.
Oh,
of the
smart.
cooktop.
Very smart.
Once you turn the ventilation on, if it's not open, it'll say open. Until you open it up, it's going to flash at you. Also has an auto feature as well. So if you hit the
Love
A
that.
on this button, it's going to it's going to just work itself. You won't have to touch anything. It'll ramp up and ramp down as needed, which is great. It's very simple to clean this filter. You just pop this little top off, and then you pull
Love
the grease
that.
filter out. So here's the,
So cool.
well, I don't know where it is in my picture. Here's the grease filter. So this is really great. This goes into the dishwasher. So cleanability is fantastic.
So once you see it dirty, you can just pop it in the dishwasher, right?
Pretty
Turn
much
on the
what you're
regular
doing.
washing function.
Yes, this can go in a regular washing function. It will clean the unit. Clean the filter, which is fantastic. If you happen to have any spillage, if you had any overflow of sauce or water, there's a reservoir down here underneath. And then there's a little plug that you would put a cup underneath the bottom of the unit
It's a drain.
to drain
I'm
it
showing
out.
that on my screen now. The video shows the spillage and then the reservoir clean out underneath. So right here, there you go.
There it is. Super simple, very easy to pop it out and pop it back in. So that's one of the filters. So this goes back in easily. There's little arrows that indicate how to set it back in nicely,
Perfect.
Yes. Love that.
which is great. And then close that up. And then if you have it recirculating, which all of the materials to make it ducted or recirculating are included in the box, except for obviously the ducting to make it duct out. But anything that if you want to make it recirculating, it's all in here. So you're going to take this lid off. You're going to pop this out. And then down here, there's this lovely little red ribbon, we like to call it, with a key on it. You pull the ribbon. There are 3 of these charcoal carbon filters in here.
Oh, smart. So it's like a key you lock and pull.
I know, isn't that fun?
Yeah, very
You
cool.
pop these out. These actually go into the oven for an hour or 45 minutes at 390 degrees, and they self-clean and they regenerate. So then they last for up to 5 years.
Right.
That's great.
What else is great about this? So you just keep pulling as you pull the ribbon, it's going to give you more access to the other units that are down in here, the little filters. You put these back in. What's really fantastic is there's an indicator on the unit that tells you when it's time to change the filter. So if it's a grease filter, if you change the grease filter, if you only have the grease filter in, it's going to come on and it's going to say filter, and it's going to just say filter. But if it's time to change the carbon filters, it's going to flash filter.
Incredible.
So you will know. And then once you're done with that, you would hold the A button back down, and it's going to reset everything back to the beginning once you've cleaned everything. So then it's going to start over, and it's going to detect the saturation and tell you when to clean it one more time.
Makes it easy.
So yeah, and that's the beauty of it, right? Instead of the carbon filter getting used up, tossing it every 3 to 6 months, that costs you probably $30 to $50 each time, right? And
If you
having to
remember to
order
do
it,
it,
if
right?
you remember, you pop it into the oven when it tells you to.
Exactly. Now it does say on those carbon filters 200, but that's actually the European number because it's
got it.
from Italy.
Sure.
So, but the true number is 390 when you convert that. So it's 390 in the oven.
Good to
Okay,
know.
good to know. If you can cook a turkey, you can clean the filters.
Exactly. At the same time, you have convection. You're good.
Exactly.
And that filter lasts how long?
5 years.
Great. So 5 years, do the math. That's right there. It's another huge savings right there in terms of replacement cost. I have a question here from an audience. Maybe Rachelle, you can how many cooking zones do you have there? How many pots can you put on there,
Yeah,
on the
absolutely.
surface?
So there's 4 cooking zones, or four specific hobs. You can use the word burner, you can use the word hob. Hob more indicates something that creates a field rather than getting hot. Burner's a little more about getting hot, but they're interchangeable. So there's 4 specific hobs, and then each of these bridges. So I can put either 4 pots here, or you can put a bridge and have a bigger pot or a grill or a griddle on this whole area. So it's really incredible.
So this hob is the most standard size, which is usually 36 inch, right?
36.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay, so it's
absolutely.
a 36-inch configuration with 4 cooking zones.
Yep.
And what we want to talk about next, which is what Dawn is showing there. Thanks for getting that, Dawn. It's a nice looking plate.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
the second question I have is, what about, like on the regular gas stove?
Sure.
Usually the bigger ones, right? You do a 6-burner, and then you can either put in a griddle or a grill option that takes up 2 burners. But what about that functionality on an induction? So explain to us exactly, Nick, with that plate there, what are we doing?
So we actually bridge the 2 elements on the left of the cooktop. You can also do that on the right. So you can have 2 griddles or large pots or pans, whatever it is. So you can take advantage of that power that is going to be controlled on one controller, essentially. So I can just say, I want both of them to be in sync on number 5. Or if I want to go all the way to power boost or number 9. So that'll give me the ability to, oh, it's already hot. Wow, that was fast.
I know.
Careful.
Get ready.
Hey, splash some water on there. I want to see that.
Hey,
thing.
I'm good. I'm good.
I know.
Um,
It goes fast.
And these pans are great. This is actually a cast iron skillet from Le Creuset, which was surprisingly more difficult to find something that would actually work with induction. These are actually designed for induction, and it's coated, so it's not going to scratch your surface. I still would not recommend like slamming these down. This is a gentle placement onto your cooktop. You're not going to want to move this a good bit or anything like that, because it still could cause some damage. But this is actually designed for an induction cooktop. Which
You
is
can put a
fantastic.
cookie sheet underneath, right? I guess.
Well,
I
you
mean,
can
it works
put a
with
towel. This
You
is
can put a
where
towel
towel
on top.
cooking comes into
Yes.
play. So you would be shocked at how strong these are. We have an amazing celebrity chef, Chef 2 David Fu, that cooks on this with his big woks and everything, and he doesn't baby it. But for you guys at home, like if you don't want to see little bitty tiny scratches or things like that, or like you say, any kind of damage, you can just put down a towel and cook right on top of that. So if you have, cast iron is incredible on this, but to your point, you can protect it. So it's really worth it for all the other safety benefits that you have. It's pretty incredible. So I can just go like,
For all those people, and for all those people that have that cast iron skillet that their mother cooked their cornbread in their whole entire lives. I'm from the South. We have those skillets that we
Yes.
love so much that we don't want to get rid of.
Yes.
You have to put a towel underneath it, and then
Absolutely.
you don't have to get rid of that seasoned skillet which you've had for 30 years. So
Yeah.
it's very nice.
So show us again, how do you control the bridge zone? So the
Okay,
bridge
so-
meaning you are turning both of the front
Yes.
and the back burners on the same time. Therefore,
Correct.
you can cook and control the settings at the same time, consistent
Exactly.
setting at the same time.
So what you're going to do is once you turn the power on,
It detects that there's
It
that
detects
there's a pot on both.
Oh, it
both,
does,
it's gonna show
okay.
the 0. So and it will flip back off, because if you don't do anything, it flips back off. So then you hold down anywhere in the bridge, and you'll see 2 little parentheses that show that it's now being bridged.
Okay.
And if you don't, and it can be very touchy if you don't turn on the power.
Yeah.
And then you just
That's it.
basically, once you turn on, after you bridge it, it will control everything from one side.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
everything's on this side now, and it's
Yeah,
it's operating
excellent.
both sides of this. So
Excellent. Excellent.
Awesome.
And again, we were talking about power of induction. It gets
Yeah.
really hot. So guys, don't leave everything on high. Start
Yeah,
with the middle.
yeah,
No, we can
yeah,
feel
we
it.
don't need we don't need everything on high.
now after a while, if you leave it on for too long or all of your liquid boils away, it will sense that it's getting too hot. It will sense that clearly you've walked away. So it will actually shut off for you. Now you can still get these pans screaming hot. You can still cook for a long time, but there's some incredible safety features that they can build in that you just can't do without having it be an electric
Yeah,
unit.
look at you. Like, look, you have a towel underneath
I
cooking,
know.
right? You don't even have to clean up. We can't even do the cleaning demonstration.
I know, right? I know. But you know, to your point on, like, traditions are so important, and we're not encouraging that people throw out their pans or throw out their cooking traditions. Wok cooking is remarkable on this, but you do need a big flat bottom wok. I have one that I got from Chinatown, and it's phenomenal. It's a legit wok. That thing gets so hot on here, I actually have to turn it back down. So, but I understand it takes a little bit of learning, and I really respect that cooking is traditions, cooking is habit. I really understand that. So that's why we just show it and have fun and encourage people to just get to know all of this. There's something that I do want to talk about at a certain point, and we'll take any kind of questions and things, but I want to make sure quickly address the cookware. So yes, if you have a magnet and you stick a magnet to it, it's going to be induction friendly. Don, to your point, finding sometimes the griddles and grills can be a little bit harder, but tons of cookware work. It's incredible. So there's a bit of a myth or an overblown thing about, like, oh, you have to change out all your cookware. That's almost never the case. It's very, very rare. If you have sort of very inexpensive all aluminum restaurant style cookware, that doesn't work. The older style Calphalon that's anodized aluminum won't work. But pure copper, which very few people have these days, but there are copper clad, so you'd be shocked at how much does work. So it's actually a little bit of an exaggeration, but to your point on maybe finding that grill or griddle may be a little bit harder, but all the cookware stores have been selling this. They all have magnets. They know this. They've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, so like what Nick was showing us, just put a magnet on any of the cookware that you're interested in, and if it sticks, it works, right? And I get a lot of questions, which is a lot of people, won't think that the cast iron would work, but as you can see on the griddle plate we have there, it works perfectly. My only advice is that it's really heavy cast iron, so be careful. And then if you have the lower quality cast iron, they're uneven on the bottom because of the way they cast it. So definitely get the high quality. Make sure the bottom is even, and better yet if they're coated.
You don't
like
want it scratching the top, of course.
Yes.
Correct.
Nice.
Perfect. Hey guys, I want to remind you that we have about 12 minutes. So we welcome any questions at this point, and I want to again welcome everyone live there. Our breakfast is almost ready. I know you guys are getting ready for your lunch. But if anyone from your live audience, I would, would have any questions with the demonstration, maybe you want to, ask them if there's anything that we can. Oh, I see Mr. Marbles back there with a question.
Oh no, we're getting a question from like the king.
No.
Is he raising his hand?
Nope.
He's just gesturing. So as we're taking in questions, I just want to, one thing that is a transition, and I really understand this, for our designers, our architects out there, our builders, I understand that you are used to designing around a very big giant range with a big giant hood, and I understand that design philosophy and that focal point, and I get it. Keep in mind that when we're designing for Kitchens 2.0, you can still have a big sexy range if you'd like. There's great ones out there. You can still have a focal point hood, but keep in mind that everything we sell in these showrooms, with a few exceptions of a few cooktops, it's all electric. So you want to think about how you combine these amazing units, whether it's an induction cooktop or range, with a combi steam oven, or a speed oven, or the incredible convection ovens that people still haven't grasped how great they are. So when we
do
think
have
about it, right? You think about it, it's like the whole thing is electric.
Exactly.
Hey,
Well, we do
Rachelle,
have a
we do-
question over here from our audience. So,
Yes.
go ahead.
All right. So we have all of those appliances. Our brand is Miele, but here.
Lovely.
My question is about the induction cooktop, which is what you're mostly focusing on. I'm very well versed that you make it at any heat level. What's my frustration? I still I'm sorry to use that word. Please don't
Okay.
get discouraged. I'm sorry.
No
So
problem.
I have it at the high setting.
Yeah.
And I still want it at the high setting, but it senses perhaps the heat temperature of the glass, and it just forces me to lower, which is not suitable for whatever I'm doing at that time. Is there a way around it?
There's a couple things that you can do. So sometimes if the pan is very large in terms of the surface area and it gets super, super hot, then sometimes it will read that it's exceeding, it's getting too hot. So it can be the size of that pan. One thing that you can do is you can just move it away for a bit and bring it back. And I do understand that it is very important for us to address challenges, learnings, things people don't like, things people love. For me, a few of the things that are a bit challenging, like not being able, I can char a pepper like crazy on cast iron. Obviously, I can't char a pepper on the surface. So yes, there are some things that are a little bit of a giving up, but what you gain for me on the safety and control side is astronomical. So I get that. There are definitely going to be things that either you have to learn or are like, I can't do this as, you can't like keep going. You have to kind of take a little break sometimes and move back. So, and also let's make sure that we talk to our experts there from Miele. There's great Miele showrooms right by you, and see if there's something that they can recommend based on your pan and how you cook. But there's a lot of expertise out there, but no, let's bring it on.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that issue, so it sounds like from
Yeah, if it gets too hot.
it could be because of the pan. Or
The
it gets too
size,
hot,
yep.
Which is a safety issue. So, yeah, so that's something, definitely Monarch is part of our full package, which is we help you specify.
Hey, Alex, we're having a problem hearing you over here.
What happened?
Alex, we're having a problem hearing you over here.
Okay.
We can hear Raquel, but
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we lost Alex.
we lost Alex.
Lost Alex? All right. Well, any other questions? What or observations? What from the audience would you like to?
See, I get super frustrated with my mute button.
Ah,
So, hey, who's there with his hands waving? We would like to get that question. But I was making a point that, Monarch is a full service. When
Absolutely.
you shop with us, we make sure that, with any challenges or questions you have, we'll definitely, be sure that you're talking to our manufacturers. And again, there's a Miele showroom close to ours here in San Francisco. I'm sure there's one close to West Palm. And those guys, they have a full staff supporting any of your questions. And I know that is a question that's new to me. So it sounds like there's some, maybe adjustments that we need to make on the cookware that we can learn from as well. So thank you for your question. So yes,
Absolutely.
do we have another that we can help answer behind you, Nick?
Hello, thank you so much, Chef Rachelle, for the presentation. And I just want to make a quick point that as you were making those crepes, how evenly they were cooked.
Right?
If you need to call me, I'll be more than happy to taste anything that you cook. But no, I think that's really incredible. I also cook on induction. My name is Jeremy, I'm an interior designer and also representing
Welcome.
American Society of Interior Designers, South Florida chapter. And I just wanted to ask a question for the other designers in the room.
Yeah.
Yes, it's magical that we have this incredible 400 CFM ventilation, but from a design standpoint, how deep does that go down to compromise the cabinet space beneath?
So
About
there you
10
go.
inches.
Thank you for asking that. We
Great.
wanted
It's a
to
great
demonstrate
question.
that.
We don't have a camera on right now, but it is extremely minimal. If
Show,
wanna come
can you
around,
pull the,
we'll open
I
up
think
the
you can
cabinet and we'll show
show.
you directly.
Well,
About-
don't look at this ventilated inducting since it's now fallen out. But It is basically, if you recirculate it through the front, you're going to have basically all the space to put a drawer in here. It only needs 10 inches, under 10 inches of space for the
Yep.
motor and everything here. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I think. And then if you duct it out the back, because you can go whichever direction you want, if you were to duct it out or recirculate it out, you're going to have even more space here. So you could put a faux bottom in, you could put drawers in. This is the only downdraft unit that is designed this way. Most of them, you're taking up the entire space in the bottom. And honestly, we are the only now downdraft induction cooktop available on the market.
That is right.
No other manufacturer is currently making this
Oh,
for
there.
us. So
I have a big drawer right here. Huge.
There you go. Can you see from our camera
Like I
here?
could get in the drawer.
Don't crawl in there.
That's where they put me when I don't make my monthly numbers.
that is one of my most favorite things about this unit, that it actually is so versatile, because I live in 850 square feet. So I know people that live in spaces that small, but this doesn't take away from your kitchen. This gives you more flexibility, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and then since we're on ventilation, I also want to tell you a little bit about what we've seen changing with like you said, Rachelle, is the kitchen 2.0.
Sure.
With a lot of the specifications now on ventilation, I've been my background is ventilation for the last 25 years, so we get that question a lot. How has that changed us designing a kitchen with, something that's super efficient, won't require all the CFM, and what does that look like in terms of, what would we specify now for ventilation, right? So I want to show you a couple of things that Elica makes that we actually have one next to you, Rachelle.
Yes.
It's the, let's see, the Haiku.
Haiku.
So for instance, that's one very good example of what ventilation could look like if you don't need that big, bulky, stainless restaurant-looking hood, right? It can be very streamlined. This we'll do another webinar on next because it's a gorgeous-looking piece. Multiple awards won in Europe. It's now finally in the U.S. And it's also stackable. You can extend it. So things like that is the conversation we're starting to have with designers. And new stuff coming. We have another one just installed here in San Francisco. James will probably do it soon in his showroom. Is the, let me show you what that looks like. Hold on one sec. Right here, let me turn.
That's fabulous.
So a hood you don't even see, like the downdraft, right? We call that the illusion. So it's a ceiling mount hood. And because you don't need that big, bulky, 10,000 CFM hood anymore, you can do something like that, which is, which now your kitchen truly becomes the focal point instead of the hood being the focal point of a kitchen. So something new I hope Elica will bring out. I see this a lot. And I've seen some notice maybe that it's going to come out soon.
The seashell, that particular model is actually coming out at the end of this year.
When? Yes, awesome.
Yeah, so that's a recirculating unit.
You saw me jumping up and down. I'm so excited.
This unit's actually 36 inches round. It is incredible. I've been begging for this for about 4 years from Italy. So
thank you.
Right,
this would be perfect for,
chandelier.
yeah, it would be perfect for some of our high-rise projects because it's another two-in-one, right? Lighting and ventilation, and then recirculating, so you don't have to duct it out. Great. So that's what I wanted to mention. So we have 2 more minutes. Any more questions we'd like to see we can cover? Any other questions? I know you guys are there live, so I'm sure you can answer your questions while you're having your mimosa. But yeah, go ahead, Don.
Say real quick, also, we have a 2-year warranty on all of our products. And if you register the product, it's 3 years parts and labor. So you get an additional year. So that's huge, even for the cooktops and everything. So that's a really great warranty.
Great.
Yeah, repeat that, Nick, because I think Don gave your mic away.
We
We lost Alex.
So we couldn't hear that very well on your end, but you were saying that it's a fantastic warranty.
Yes, it's a 2-year parts and labor, but if you register the product, it's an additional year parts and labor on all Elica branded products in the U.S.
3 years.
Awesome.
So 3
I
years
have
total.
several architects that have took one look at this. It took them about 5 minutes to change their entire thought process about how they were going to do it, and then boom, sold. So They had to recompute, but that's great news, and I'll make sure that they register their product.
It's a great piece, obviously, for new building projects, but of course for renovations, you know, any type of projects that you need a retrofit.
Yeah.
This is a great solution.
This is a great solution for that.
We
Well,
love
we
it.
just have another moment. Anything else coming up for you guys that you want to shout out about? Because I know we're going to be hopefully doing a lot of webinars. So what's next for West Palm? And
You mentioned
how can we support you?
you mentioned that copper pots work, but copper is not magnetic.
Sure. Let me see if I can
Yeah,
find mine.
Rachelle can pull a example of what the copper, you know, these days what they do is a clad.
Yep.
So they wrap copper around a conductive material underneath. So there you go. That's a, what is that, a Heston?
Yeah, so there's some new cookware now. This is a Heston copper bond. So
Copper bond.
now, and even prior to induction be kind of having this extreme moment that it will be having forever now, they were starting to create more usable copper cookware anyway for people because there's a lot of maintenance with it. So yeah, so you can find now some copper clad and copper bond cookware that does work really well.
Thank you. He said thank you.
Sure.
You're welcome. Okay, I want to be respectful of our promised time, which
Yes.
is ending right about now. So one quick thing from Monarch. We soon, James confirmed this with me, for the designers and the builders, architects that you have there, thank you for participating today. But
Yes.
in August, we're launching a couple of very exciting program, which is if you're a builder, right, we have an MVP program, you can sign up with us that would give you automatic, what are we giving, James?
2%. 2%.
So 5-year warranty that comes with usually, you know, costs quite a bit of money for any projects that we do. Monarch is now going to throw it in.
Awesome.
Right, just sign up with James there, and then we have our own here for San Francisco, of course. And also, if you are a designer or architect, you sign up with our MR reward program.
Yes.
We reward you with any referrals, any recommendations that you bring to us. You have our showroom as your Mikasa to Casa. You can use it for events. You know, we do a lot of charity. We do a lot of realtor events here, so you definitely have that access as well for at James' showroom. And also, you know, we want to thank you guys for doing this. I know James, you and I worked on this, on the technical side
A
of
lot
things.
of work.
It's a lot of work. We got everything working. Now we can broadcast coast to coast finally, and you know, we love it. And most of all, Alika for putting in the the actual working demonstration unit that we can show our customers. And then Mr. Barry Cohen back there with your marbles idea and all the experience and your support as a distributor for us in that region. Too bad we don't have it here in California, but come over. We'll make you a customer instead. We'll have you buy stuff from us. I'll let you close there. I'm ready for our breakfast, and you guys have some very fun brunch activity going on. So James, back to you, and Rachelle, thank you. James, please do your close.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much to everyone that came in person, everyone that's joining us online. Make sure you come see us at any of our Florida showrooms, Bonita Springs, Sarasota, Miami, Pompano Beach, and of course, right here in West Palm Beach. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Elika. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this event. And we hope to have them every single month. So
hey, let's do it. Let's do it. Please come back. We have lots of
guys.
really wonderful products to show. So thank you. Enjoy your brunch.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you. Bye.